Now, I never understood why people like to hunt animals that would otherwise not have the last thing they hear be a rifle being shot at them from 70 yards away. Now, I'm not talking about deer and all those other animals that are hunted because they would take over the world if we don't control their population ourselves, but I'm talking about every animal that Africa has to offer. Since the 70s, people have been using Africa as their own exotic pet store where the animals never get taken home alive. And for what? So you get a picture next to a dead animal that would otherwise kill you? Standing next to a dead lion with the gun you killed them with is like someone taking a picture celebrating that they got first place in a race against children. Like, just look at these losers thinking that this makes up for the fact that their wives are cheating on them. Each one of these guys was like, hey honey, do you want to come to Africa with me and hunt some lions? And she's like, oh no thank you, you go and have fun and let me know how it is when you get back. And when the other guy gets there, she's like, yeah, a micro penis and he likes to hunt lions. He might as well have a pussy because he's making me fucking gay with how much I hate him. And I know that people also hunt for food, but we aren't cavemen who've been tracking a fucking mammoth for 10 days. We can go to the store and get our own questionable meat in 10 minutes. Like, if you live in the Idaho wilderness and you need to hunt for your food like you were Randy Weaver at Ruby Ridge, then by all means, kill Bigfoot if you have to. Just send me a picture though at Like, if you're not shooting these animals with anything other than a tranquilizer so you can add a tracker to it so it can be studied, then just know that Joe Exotic is way cooler than you are. And he's a gay meth-smoking convicted criminal, so you gotta be a real piece of shit to be lower than him. But it's not just lions and tigers and all the other animals that are in Madagascar. As you guys probably know, elephants and rhinos have been hunted to damn near extinction for their precious horn. Kinda gay that you want the hardest part of another animal's body. I'm just saying. But you've seen the videos, you've seen the documentaries of people killing these animals to take their tusks to either collect them or sell them to rich people who are like, no way, this is worth less than my shoes, but because you say it's worth thousands, I'm supposed to believe that? Now, do you take cash, or how does this black market work? I'm sorry. How does this African-American market work? Now, if I'm going to be honest, I could see why people would want an elephant tusk, but a rhino horn is one of the ugliest things I've ever seen. It looks like a piece of fossilized shit. But still, to this day, people are killing these rhinos so that witch doctors everywhere could make their precious potions. If you come in contact with a witch doctor, by law, you have to kill them. But yesterday, I saw this video where a conservation in South Africa is now injecting radioactive materials into rhino horns so that it devalues them, and or if one were to get sold, the radiation would be detected, making them worthless. No one wants a rhino horn leaking radiation everywhere so that their kid grows up to be some sort of fucking Spider-Man villain when they grow up. Now, if you guys didn't know, the sale of rhino and rhino accessories is illegal in South Africa. However, you cannot go out and get more of those accessories that already aren't on the market. But do you think when people are paying tens of thousands per pound per rhino horn that people are gonna stop? No, which is why we literally have to risk these rhinos evolving into super rhinos sometime in the near future because poachers couldn't keep their hands to their fucking selves.
In a bold move to combat poaching, South African scientists have begun injecting rhino horns with small amount of radioactive material, a method they say is harmless to the animals but could be a game changer in stopping illegal trafficking. The Radioisotope project launched the initiative Thursday, injecting 5 rhinos as part of a wider rollout.
We've developed the use of radioisotopes to devalue rhino horn. So you're using radioactive materials, small quantities of it, inserted into the horn of a rhino, which is like then putting a massive bright light into the horn that no one can turn off. It stays there, and as it goes across borders, the detectors are in place that can pick it up. And it's then, because, as we said earlier, those detectors have been installed for other reasons, but just as capable of picking up the rhino horn as they are smuggled nuclear material.
Who knew it only took a blindfold and 3 people to be able to control a rhino? It's like a baby horse being controlled. Every zoo in California better watch out when I figure out how to make 2 friends. But as you can see, they are literally drilling holes into this B-word's horn and injecting it with some sort of premium sludge guaranteed to deter any poacher from wanting it. And it actually says the reason that they add this to the horn is because if someone tries to sell this outside of Africa thinking that they can send it express mail without any problems, whatever they put in that horn is supposed to be strong enough to set off the radiation detectors they have set up at their airports just in case any mad scientist is thinking about causing a little havoc, and or someone trying to sell rhino horns. Mostly that. Now, I do have a couple of questions as to how this method actually works. One, do you guys mark the horns that have the radiation? Because if I was a poacher and I saw a hole drilled into a horn, I'd be like, hey, look at this dummy, he tried to shoot the horn. Their brain isn't in their horn. But like, unless there's something that is telling these poachers that this horn is tainted, then I don't see anything stopping them from taking the horn and trying to sell it. Which I guess you'll stop the sale when they try and act like it's a legit horn. But the rhino has already lost their horn at that point, making the horn worthless doesn't mean anything unless the poachers know it's worthless beforehand. And what's stopping these guys from making these horns with radiation more rare than the regular ones? They're gonna be like, these ones are so rare they literally can't leave the country without being detected. Some retarded billionaire is going to hear that and buy all the radioactive horns in existence. And then what? Now we're just gonna have a bunch of radioactive horns going around the country when it's supposed to stay on the rhino's face? Thanks, Obama. Again. But yeah, guys, in a few years, we'll know if this was the best or worst idea to ever be conceived. A big sign would be a news article saying, holy shit, they really did it. They went and created a super rhino, those fucking idiots. Until tomorrow, peace.